Well, good afternoon, folks. This is us for a special broadcast of Hey Sister. As we have watched what has unfolded today and what would normally be just some pomp and circumstance, right? Which is a ritualistic ceremony where the House of Representatives and the Senate convenes in order to confirm what the Electoral College vote have been. And it's usually just some pomp and circumstances, a very ritualistic process, and it has turned into just absolutely disgraceful debauchery in the United States Capitol. So with that, hey sister, how you doing?
I'm disgusted. I am infuriated. I'm just watching these images, and of course, we've all stated the obvious. If this were a different group of people, this would have looked a lot differently today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to see them destroying media equipment here from the AP and different folks, I just, yeah, it is quite disgusting, quite disgusting. And, as I was saying, as we came on the air, I had turned it back to ABC to listen to these attempts at trying to distinguish the uh, peaceful protesters from these anarchists or terrorists or whatever. They're not even using such harsh language. That never happens. If it's a group of Black Lives Matters protesters, they're just all considered bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
never the parsing out of who's the good guy versus the bad guys.
Right.
No grace is ever given. No, they're
Yeah.
all bad, you know.
Well, like Jackie commented here, they are the real thugs. We have Chantel Lay saying the same thing. Thugs, absolutely. Yeah. You talk
Yeah,
about
they all
why?
are,
Why? Yeah.
because you didn't go out there today with peace. You did not go out there today with peaceful protests on your spirit or in your heart or in your mind. You didn't, because like you said, this activity has happened for years on January 6th, and it's been just unceremonial, pomp and circumstance, just the way we do business.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody who made their way out there, and
Mm-hmm.
sadly, I see some of your folks out there. And
Oh, we
this,
see all kind of folks. You know, we definitely see all kind of folks. We see all age ranges. I saw people with their little children in hand, and instead of their children participating in something that would be a historic occasion for the country, they instead had their children participate in what is an insurrection. So, definitions are real important to me. And I do this a lot in my business, and when I do
Mhm.
presentations, I always drop in definitions because we have to level set on what terms mean. Because truth clearly to those folks that are out there today, they have a different definition of truth than I have. But this is the definition of insurrection: a violent uprising against an authority or government. And so for those fools who are out there saying, oh, no, it's not violent. Oh, no, as you said, they get just a little too close to the field reporters who are out there, who are trying to cover the story and yelling at them. This is the definition. If
Right.
you storm the Capitol, if you go into the Capitol, if you're climbing the wall, so they actually have doors where they have security and you go through a metal detector and what have you. But when you're climbing the wall and you're breaking windows, that's violent.
Yeah, but as people are saying here, and as I've been reading, at the end of the day, it feels like this is very much an inside job. You had some folks on the inside who allowed this to happen because,
Well,
you
see what
know,
Denise is saying here.
yeah, Rob was just conveying a story about even when he had just recently, he once he was out of the military, but he didn't have on his uniform, but he and a friend, stepped in the Capitol building, went like in the wrong direction. He like somebody just jumped on them immediately, like appeared out of nowhere. And
Nowhere.
he was like, sorry, we were just, we got a little confused, whatever. And the person helped him out. You don't do this. This doesn't happen if the police were there to protect and serve. This doesn't happen. Now they have something smoking. I don't even know. And I guess, John Ossoff has been declared the winner now in Georgia. So Senate is flipped too. So all these folks who sat back and allowed this to happen, y'all time should be up. I pray. And they were just saying this on CNN, and I felt the same way. I pray we don't forget, because we have a way of having a very
short-term memory. Yeah, absolutely. Well, another good definition I need to throw out here is treason. The crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. And so what we saw today was the sitting president committing treason at the rally that preceded this. Him and those thousands of people who were out there listening to them, as long as with his family, we saw treason unfold before our very eyes because they were trying to overthrow the governmental processes here. And so we have some more comments here, and I'm going to throw those up here. Watching this is disturbing. These are not protesters. These are terrorists.
Right.
What Trump has done has sparked violence against our government and democracy. And it's been a slow burn, a treasonous slow burn since I would say since 2015 when he came down that escalator.
I would say even before that, when he was sparking the birtherism lies, even before that. I saw on the Blairisms page this post by Jared Hill, and it says, when we were attacked on 9/11, bin Laden wasn't in the planes. It was at his direction. This is the same thing. This is a terrorist attack on the United States by the president of the United States. Trump is a terrorist. There's no way he can continue as president another day. And
absolutely.
This was absolutely his call. It's been his call. When he said, stand back and stand by, it was his call. When he said that there were very fine people on both sides in Charlottesville, it was his call. And today, even when asked to provide a statement, this fool's still sitting up there talking about how this election was stolen, making it all about him. Do you not see what is happening?
And he said, hey, you're very special people to me, and we love you, but go home. Really? Really? Absolutely ridiculous. We got another definition came in here. Sedition, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Absolutely. We have witnessed sedition. It was at that rally today. It's been every day for the last 4 years of this term. And it is absolutely shameful. It is appalling. It's disgusting. And it's expected. Because for centuries now, and I'm going to say Joe Biden, you keep saying this is not who we are. This is exactly who this country is, if not kept in check. If not kept in check. This is exactly who many, many people who live in this country, many, many people who feel privileged, who feel entitled, and who feel that they are the only. If you it only on my agree with me, like-minded, we are the only that matter.
Right. And let
So
me just,
most absolutely.
I'm so sorry, sis. I just had to say, you know, a few weeks back,
Mm-hmm.
I got into an argument with one of my classmates who ultimately
Oh.
blocked me and I blocked her and we're blocked together.
Mm-hmm. All
And
blocks matter.
all blocks matter. Shout out to the
Shout out to the
Blairisms.
Blairism.
Um, and at that moment, where it started was because after, of course, Joe Biden was um projected as the president-elect. She was one of the people that I saw who I'm sure jokingly made a comment about Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, and Florida seceding from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's where the conversation began because I said then, well, Black people not coming. So put a plan together and do your thing. But Black people are not coming. And like I said, then it went into our inboxes because she decided to tell me that she had removed my comment from her page because she wasn't going to let anyone make it about race. Well, I'm sure she doesn't watch this, but for the ones who do and like to run tell that, ask her for me. Is this about race? Ask her for me. Do you think it's funny to joke about seceding?
Well,
Because
girl, you want the people to ask. You might as well say who the name is if you want the people to ask. Because how y'all gonna ask if y'all don't know who she is?
oh, they know who she is because she went on to block all the Black people in our class. So they know who she is. But it wasn't about race. This is why you don't joke about stuff like that. This is why that's not funny. Because there's some people who don't understand a joke. And she's one of them. You weren't joking. Neither are they. Neither are these people we're watching who are violent and inciting riots and call themselves protesting, but storming the nation's Capitol building in order to prove a point. It's not about doing the right thing. It's not about our democracy or our republic. It is not about voter fraud or suppression. It is not about the presidential election and the duly elected presidents to be of the United States. It is about people who feel so privileged and so entitled that they are so accustomed to getting their way for so long that when they don't get it, this is what happens. And you know what else, chick? I hope that we don't forget. And I hope we don't allow people to try to make us forget, like they try to make us forget slavery because it was so long ago, like they try to pretend the Holocaust never happened, like they try to tell us there was no Trail of Tears, like they try to say that there weren't Chinese internment camp. Don't forget this. Mm-hmm. Because the moment we forget, as it has been said many times, the next dude, see this one, he's a dummy. And it just shows that he has a lot of dummies behind him. Mm-hmm. But the next dude will be savvier, mm-hmm. will be smarter, will have more resources. Mm-hmm. And it won't just look like this. Because like I said on our Instagram page, these are the people we have to live with every day. See, mm-hmm. Ted Cruz, you started this, you get to go in a bunker somewhere. Mm-hmm. What's the other cat? Paulie, whatever his name. Yes. You started this, or you fed into this, mm-hmm. but you have protection. Donald Trump, you have protection for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to live next door to these people. We've got to go to work with them. They are on our police forces.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we end up dead in the street from a traffic stop or from selling cigarettes or CDs or carrying a can of tea and Skittles and going home in the rain. This is how we end up dead because of people like this that you sat back and have inspired and incited and told, yeah, go out there, martial law, all of the buzzwords until the shit really happens.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, we got a whole bunch of comments here.
I'm
I want to put some of them. No, I think that needed to be said because, like you said, if you on your social media feed, those people real quiet right now. You are complicit. I might need to pull that definition out too. You are complicit, and your silence shows your complicity. And we are living we have to live the consequences of your complicity. But this is the gag, as they say. If we not safe, your ass ain't safe either. If we not protected, you ain't protected either. Because see, that's how the wealthy aristocracy of the Southern class who were the slave holders controlled all the poor white people, right? Because you thought it was just only us that they weren't getting. But guess what? They had their foot on your neck too.
Right.
And you haven't been able to pass on generational wealth. You haven't been able to accomplish goals. You have your one or two exceptions. But you in a generational cycle of poverty too. So if you think that, oh, it only stops with us, it don't never stop with us. It don't never stop with us. But you go head on and carry your flag. Let's see. We got a comment here that says, sisters, today's thought characterize people by their actions, and you will never be fooled by their words. Be blessed, stay safe, and know you are loved. Thank you, Jackie. We appreciate you. Love you, Star Jackie. This is a question I had that I was going to ask. Where are the arrests? I want to see that ass hat who was sitting in that Senate with his legs folded up, all those people who were roaming in those senators' desks. I want to see FBI at their damn house before the end of this week. Because all of those views should be magnified. We should facial recognition, and they should be at their damn houses arresting them. That better happen. We need to see them be arrested.
Yeah, I mean, and I know if you put up a few dollars, somebody gonna tell on them. So just put a reward out there.
We ain't even gotta put no reward out there. Just put their images up there. Let's go out there and arrest and be found. I mean, the man was blown to shreds in Nashville. They found out who his ass was and got his picture up there within 24 hours. FBI, get on your job. They said it's not over, and then there was another comment here that I wanted to kind of relate it to that. The toothpaste has been let out the tube; it can't be put back in. You know, I was watching CNN a little bit. I've been bouncing to different channels, right? And so one of the things that Dan Jones said, and I thought this was very poignant as it relates to this comment: is this the end of something, or is this the beginning of something? Is this the lion, the last dying breath? And they know that this is the last dying breath? Or is this the beginning of more to come? And this is where you need to choose today what side you on. Mm-hmm. This ain't about Republican. This ain't about Democrat. This is about, are you a real patriot or are you a traitor? If you out there with a Confederate flag, you a traitor.
If you out there with a Blue Lives Matter flag fighting the police,
you a traitor. If you're out there with a Trump flag and not an American flag,
Okay.
you are a traitor, because this is not a monarchy. This is a democracy, a democratic republic. So if you can hold a banner for one man, but not for the whole country, you a traitor. And that's where you need to check yourself. That's
And
where you really need to check yourself.
yeah, and if this is about going back to 1776, then I guess we got the answer for when they thought America was great. When women had no rights, when people of color had no rights, and all laws were determined by a handful of white men. But like you said,
But
the
not the
gag
handful
is,
of white men that y'all out there. That's
but
out
that's what
there.
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But the gag is, in 1776, most of y'all states were foreign countries,
Countries.
ruled by foreign countries, and y'all wouldn't have been amongst the leadership then.
No. Most of y'all states was Mexico, but y'all want to keep out the Mexicans. Let's go on to a few more of these comments that we have here. I think Denise Toops knows who you're talking about. She said, just for the record, I wasn't going with that bitch either. Oh, we have a comment here. If this would have been Antifa or Black Lives Matter, it would have been nothing but smoke and blood at this moment. Hey, before this moment, there was, listen, we talked about this when we went live on Instagram. You and I went to the inauguration in January in 2009. As we walked around DC, there were snipers on the roof of every building. So for you to have a rally today, and when they had the rally some months ago to protest the rally for about social justice, those snipers were out on top of all of those buildings. So for you to have a rally today in Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, and there were not people weren't walking around looking like, oh damn, they serious about this.
Right.
That's a problem.
Not only that, I wanted to make a point about that, because that is the narrative that now they can't blame it on Black Lives Matter because there ain't enough Black people there to justify that. But they are already creating the narrative of it's Antifa. And it's like, no, it's not. It's Trump supporters. Mm-hmm. And like I said, trying to parse out the peaceful protesters from the rioters or what. No. You don't get to do that. Not here, not now. So
anybody that believes in this country would not have been out there, because you know that the election is done, it is over, and that yes, you can support if you want to still support your candidate, but your candidate is no longer on the ballot. This is a ceremonial process. It's pomp and circumstance. We certify the election and we move on to January 20th. But the question is, what happens now? We have a few more questions and comments. I want to throw those out there. Yes, I can fight the enemy. I can be worried about the ones that are hiding in plain sight, and they are definitely everywhere. We have to always be alert and of our surroundings. Absolutely. Those folks are pure ignorance. Absolutely. That's BS. It's trumpets. Absolutely. Yep. Trump supporters only. Absolutely. And so the thing is, if you support this man, then you don't support the country, because there is a distinct difference, because we don't live in a monarchy.
But remember, I'm sorry, I got to go back one more time about the police and what have you. Remember a few months ago when old boy wanted to take a picture in front of the church?
That part.
Remember how many protesters got trampled on, got tear gas, got bowled over in order for him to have a photo op? So again, it's very clear that this has been orchestrated from the top.
Absolutely, because that's what I was commenting on some people's posts about. It's like the commander in chief made those calls.
Right.
The commander in chief.
I just can't imagine. Can you imagine if you were hunkered down? Because they claim, now they got senators, Republicans all hunkered down in different places, but together. Can you imagine being hunkered down right now next to Ted Cruz or Scalise or
Ted Cruz? Hawley, Scalise, Goldberg, Marsha Blackburn, I would be kicking y'all behind right now. That's the violence they would have to be coming to look for. Because if I was your colleague, hell no. This would be like old fashioned, oh no, we about to fight for real.
Right. Because
up in here.
because again, y'all
perpetuated this. You gave oxygen to this.
Right.
You kept this going on.
Fanning the flames, fanning the flames, fanning the flames. All because you're trying to curry favor from somebody who is going out of office. Mm-hmm. All because you're trying to curry favor from somebody who is and will be an asterisk and is a blemish on this country's history. It's the Absolutely. Presidency of this country, a blemish.
And Sarah, as a teacher, my heart bleeds for you because you talk about having no words. How do you, as a teacher, formalize words to explain this to children whose parents probably co-sign some of this, or parents who support some of this? So I pray for you, sister. We'll keep lifting you up in prayer and sending you good vibes and good energy. Someone said, yes, this has been orchestrated. We are seeing in our country what we often see on CNN International and BBC. It is very much a sad day. And that's what that was my first thought. What in the third world, whole country, are we living in this moment? In this moment, it's just absolutely astonishing to me. Yeah, these are your people, so go out and then get. So let's talk about this part because we said this on the IG Live. For those of you who have at your you kind of been like, okay, well, that's just crazy Uncle such and such. Oh, that's just cousin Joe, and oh, what have you.
Billy Bob just talking crazy again.
Billy Bob. Or hey, it could be what's his name? The senator, the congressman, the Georgia congressman who wanted it could be Herman. It could have been a Herman, like a Herman Cain. All of y'all who have sat back. And for what? Because I really want to know, if you were a really Republican, why would you continue to follow this man? So let's talk about this. 2 days ago, Raffensperger. This is for you, Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia. George Stephanopoulos asked you, would you support him? Because you said you voted for this man. And you've been getting death threats. And you have been getting harassed, and the people who work for you have been getting threatened and harassed. And he asked you, would you vote for this man again? And you were like, well, he's not on the back. Would you support this man? And his response was, well, I support Republicans.
And that's where we are, and that's our problem. Anybody who says I would never vote for a Democrat, I would never vote for a Republican. That's the problem. That's the problem. I honestly, if I had anything to do with it, which I don't, obviously, but it would be like, number one, popular vote, 50% majority rules in most other voting instances. Not sure why it doesn't work like that for presidency. Number two, we got to get all this big money up out of these elections. But number three, I shouldn't have to vote for only a Democrat if I'm, from a primary standpoint, or only a Republican, or ask for a certain ballot in order to. No, put everybody's name on every ballot, and whoever wins. And people should feel empowered to be able to say, I am going to vote for Republican for this office, but I'd like to vote for the Democrat in that office, and not feel like, oh, I can only vote down ballot because my loyalty, my blind loyalty is to any of these parties. in the last few days, if you watch The View, Meghan McCain is back, and she drives me nuts. But today she was so ugly, it was ridiculous. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Many people have gotten on at least their Instagram page. I don't know about Twitter, and they're like, "Why is she back? Let her go home." But to see her try to question Raphael Warnock in a way that I don't see you try to question a lot of Republicans, calling yourself, always saying about how conservative you are. First of all, is this conservative behavior? Is this a great behavior? Is this be best behavior? None of it appears to be to me. But even more than that, we have gotten so locked down on these labels, the Republican, the Democrat, the conservative, the liberal, the blue, the red. At the end of the day, as long as we keep going down that path, we're going to continue to see this, because we need to have the best people representing us, period. You may not agree with 100% of what they're saying. You're never going to agree with 100% of what anybody says, or at least you should. And we need to be looking for, as somebody said yesterday, extremists. You can't do anything about extremists. That's the very definition of them being extremists. We should all be looking for people who are centrists, because at some point, I am a fiscal conservative. I don't believe in spending money all willy-nilly.
She sure don't, y'all. She don't be spending no money. Be making big money, don't be spending no money.
Anyway,
I ain't trying to be in your pocketbook.
Thank you. I don't believe in doing that. But you
want to drive on the road without the bottom of your car falling out, right?
Absolutely. And I also don't care if a woman decides that she needs to get an abortion, because that is what she has to do for her family, because my guess is she didn't make that decision willy-nilly. And that's my problem. Everybody wants it to be one way or the other. Look, I've been told that I've been very black and white in a lot of ways in my life, but I'm sorry. I'm mad gray when it comes to this, because again, extremists get you what we got today.
Yes, absolutely. Most definitely. Well, we got another couple comments here. Cher Wallace is chiming in. She's saying 45 has incited treason and an attempt to perpetuate a coup. And it's the jellybackness of the Republicans that have enabled his foolishness. Absolutely. Can't disagree with that. Yes, we shouldn't have to choose either party. We shouldn't have to register as either. It should be vote your conscience or choice, period. Well, those are transformations that we can see hopefully will happen. Let's see, they will continue to follow him because they hate us. Well, we said that up top, that at the base of all of this, it is racism. And if people don't agree with that, and yes, we have some non-Black people who are watching and tuning in, but they not racist. So, that part, right?
Right.
So this is largely about racism. This is largely about shifting demographics. And for then people would say, well, what about a Candace Owens, or what about this person, or what about that person? Racism, there's a self-hatred is also a component of racism too. So, the vestiges and the toxicity of it all manifests itself oftentimes in self-hatred. That goes with the same thing with sexism and misogyny. Oftentimes women can be the worst abusers of other women because they too have the vestiges of misogyny and patriarchy they've bought into.
Right. Which is why I said I am sitting up here tripping on the one person who got shot today was a woman. So I need to know what she did, because sis, let me say this one last time to all my Caucasian sisters who are those who consider themselves white. White men are not here to save you. They are not here to protect you. They are not here to care for you. I'm not saying that there aren't good white men in the world. I'm not saying there aren't loving white fathers. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that from a historical standpoint, just as white men have had their feet on our collective necks, they have done the same to their very own daughters and mothers and
And
sisters.
sister.
So please, by all means, and yes, I know she was a Trump loyalist. I just said I want to know what exactly she did to be the one person who got shot today.
Mhm.
But if that doesn't speak to the idea that all the men out there, all the bravado, all the brazen disregard for law and order,
Right.
and the only person who gets shot is a woman.
And where were they to protect her and
Mm,
her honor?
I don't know.
Okay, somebody said, Christina, white women are hiding under the supremacy of white men. They have been taught that from birth.
I don't know. We
Yeah.
got some white women in these comments who I'm like, I think they'll swing on. I don't know. they might swing on some white men, but I'm just saying. I hear you though.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, I guess right. Speaks loudly. Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, and
Yeah.
I thought the most absurd part before was the grab them by the puss comment, right? We thought that was the worst example. And now, again, here we are today, and we have seen time after time after time where women have been disregarded, and misogyny and chauvinism and sexism have been on high display. We've been front row to all of this. And like I said, today, we saw all this violence being incited, and the one person who's gotten shot.
The woman.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Well, we're gonna say this though.
yes, Georgia, stand up. You know, I'm a Saints fan, so I'm not cheering for your football team, but I'm cheering for you, Georgia. Thank you. Thank you from everybody, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I've been praying hard when it comes to these politics of late. And I was like, God, you can't do this to us. Like, we can't win
You
the
already
presidency.
gave us the clarity we needed in 2020. We
20,
don't need
yes.
no more. We don't need no more. We clear.
We are clear, and we cannot have gotten this presidency and gotten the House and then to just continue to be blocked in the Senate. So I thank you, Georgians, for showing up, for showing out, for going to the polls early, for getting out in numbers, for standing in lines. Y'all were standing in some of the most ridiculous lines since this started. And I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out the HBCU and D9 crowd, because yes, HBCU and D9, you did that too. So congratulations to the first Black in 2021, first Black senator from the state of Georgia, and the first Jewish descendant of Jewish immigrants from the state of Georgia.
All right. And so since we're going to shout out and congratulate Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff on being victorious, and yes, they were very close down to the wire, and we understand all that, but we're going to shout them out. We're going to shout this sister out too.
Yes.
Can we get a hand clap of praise for Stacey Abrams, y'all?
Listen.
Can we get a hand clap? What Stacey did, and this is the point I want to make. Because see, all of this foolishness y'all doing, what are you accomplishing? What is the end goal?
Right.
See, Stacey lost her election, but she didn't lose the race, baby. Because Stacey said, oh, no, what?
The race isn't given to the swift, huh? Okay, go ahead.
endures to the end. And the end ain't here yet because
Nope.
there's more for this sister. Because you know what's coming up in 2022, baby, is another gubernatorial.
Gubernatorial.
Gubernatorial. Let me get my words right. I can't even get my words right. But governor, the governor election coming up again in Georgia. And so Stacey said, you know what? I knew there was a problem. We had a problem with people being registered, people knowing how to vote, knowing where to vote. And so I'm going to do something about this because that's how he was able to steal this, because not enough of us even participate in the process or know that we can participate in the process or that we should participate in the process. So I'm going to take this L. I'm not conceding because you're a liar and I know you're a dirty dog liar. So I'm not going to concede on that day. But what I am going to do is I'm going to plan, I'm going to organize, I'm going to strategize, and I'm going to, as I posted in my story yesterday, in the words of Kool Moe Dee, I go to work. And not just her, there were other organizations, but Stacey
Yes.
is the one who, of all, just most definitely, she is all the way. There
Yes.
you go. I like that.
Listen,
Yes.
I gotta quote my friend, Southern University
Look at Denise said
alumnus.
she gonna move to Georgia just so she can vote for her.
Listen, look, we all need to try to get us what they going back. Oh, that was from earlier. I was about to say. So anyway, I want to quote Ted James, Southern University alum, who was just elected as the chairman of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. He wrote today, and I just have to shout him out for this. Stacey Abrams was the real victim of a stolen election.
Yes.
She decided to make sure it didn't happen again. She organized, all caps. She used data, all caps. She convened various stakeholders and gave them the tools to reform the electoral makeup of her state. Georgia didn't save democracy with tweets, videos, and rhetoric. They were organized. Most importantly, she guided their work. He put this guided their work, not finger pointing back and forth or up and down. He said, yes, it can happen all across the country, but you have to be committed for the entire movement, not the moment. Louisiana, we have groups doing the work, but they need our help. He said, plus a closed primary system would be a huge win. You ready? And that's the thing. Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, you can do it too.
Florida! There it is. We got them coming up too. Marco gotta go. Rick gotta go. DeSantis got to go. There it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Texas, all of it.
Texas.
You can do it.
Texas has gotten closer.
Yes.
Texas has gotten closer. And in Florida, my county, we're there. There's pockets, right? It can be done.
And I'm going to say this. When I say there, again, I am specific. Christina is not specifically saying that there means democratic, but there cannot look like this today. Getting there cannot be people who want to stay focused on the status quo, who want to stay in power for the sake of staying in power, who want to align themselves with pure evil for the sake of what they might run for in a few years. No, getting there means electing people who have a conscience, who want to fight for the greater good. Who may not always get it right, but more often than not, they are not thinking about themselves. They are selfless. They are actually thinking about the people with whom they represent. And like you said,
they are not going into a chamber and then coming out selling their stocks
Right.
Leffler and Purdue, so that they can profit off of the pending pandemic.
Profit off of people's pain. You know, they're not. What is Steve? Girl, I couldn't think of Scalise's first name. They are not Steve Scalise, who won't stand up about and talk about gun violence, even though he got shot. They're not those people. So it's time for us. Listen, America, listen, girl. We have you in danger. No, we have.
You say that
danger.
again. America, you in danger, girl.
Yes.
Because what is happening today, if we don't stop it, so these people are gonna go. They might act up a little bit more, but they, for the most part, they're gonna go because the rally is over. Trump's not putting on his show, so they're gonna go. Some need to be arrested and what have you, most definitely. But the question is gonna be, what is gonna happen now? What is going to happen when Congress comes back? Y'all going to certify the election. But what you going to say, Cruz, Hawley, all you other fools? What y'all going to say? Are you going to say, you know what? We should, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, because you just couldn't bring yourself to impeach this mother back last year. We here. Now what you gonna do? He should be removed from office.
Yeah, he should be.
He should be removed from office
today.
They need to move up the timeline and they need to go ahead and private ceremony, do this damn inauguration and get to work. They need to get to work. Because it doesn't matter about all this other stuff.
But you know, sister, they need to get to work, but we need to get to work. And that's what I said earlier today. You know, thank you, Georgia. We appreciate you. But now the real work begins because, you know, I go back a few months ago when we had, you know, Ice Cube not knowing what other people were doing and he want to roll out his plan. See, now we have an opportunity. And I know there are many other great minds that have written out various other things. And I know that some of it is included in what the Biden-Harris administration plan to do. But now is the opportunity to say, we got you here. Here's what we need in return. And if you can't deliver on these things, guess what?
You got to go too.
And you won't be here again.
Because, and I'm with you, sister, you know, let me put a couple of comments up here. It says, we're in danger. Don't think North Korea, China, and Russia aren't paying attention. We already know what they did in terms of cyber breaches with many institutions, with many agencies, and many major corporations. They are paying attention. The danger is within and without, most definitely. America, their constituents should tell them what to say. I am with you. Kevin McCarthy, he was speaking some strong language today, but you allowed this, sir. Every time someone asks you a very direct question and you did not give a very direct answer, you allowed this. So it's time. Something needs to be done. And yes, absolutely. It's time to hold all of our elected officials accountable. And we most definitely need to get to work. And I'm of the mindset like you, sister, because again, I'm a registered independent. I don't know how anybody can be a self-actualized adult and say, hey, I only vote one way. That's nonsense to me. Always has been nonsense to me. But a bunch of these folks need to go. They just reelected Mitch McConnell. How old is Mitch McConnell? And they just reelected him.
I don't know, but I could have sworn they said earlier today he's been in the Senate for 30, or he's at least been in the, I'll say, a legislator for 30 years. He has been
in the Senate since, I think it's 85. I believe it's 85.
36 years, yeah, 36 years. That's what they said.
1985. Got to go.
Oh
Got
wait,
to
no,
know.
that would be more than 36 years.
Do them. You search him real fast and find out. Someone said yes. I heard today that it was hacking while this BS was going on. I bet they were. This was a great distraction for them to hack and take whatever they want. Yes, accountability is important for all being elected right now, and I'm talking about accountability from dog catcher to president of the United States. Everybody that you cast a ballot for, you need to hold them accountable. You need to be the squeaky wheel and also be reasonable. Because
Right.
what we saw today is uneducated and not reasonable, and talk about like this belief in these conspiracy theories. I mean, be in an echo chamber in a silo, just I don't even understand how you suspend all conscious thought to go along with this. Like you really have to have listened to that tape recording from Saturday. You have to
Hmm.
suspend all common sense and all reason and all conscious thought to think that anything was okay with that. And for the suggestion to be that, oh, just come on, guys, I just need 11,780. Oh,
Right.
wow. This is sad.
Oh, she died.
Breaking
Mhm.
news. The woman has died. The woman who was shot has died. This is absolutely. And
And
so,
all I have
again,
to
the
ask,
question,
was it worth it for
why?
her?
Why? Yeah.
84 was when he was first elected, 37 years. Yeah.
That was close. I know
Yeah,
it was close.
yeah. I mean, was it worth it for her? I hate to hear that, but again,
Just
what
think about her family. Like
right.
if they were out there together as a family,
I wonder if it
you
was
know,
that woman who was walking in there with who had the American flag draped over her body, because she was backing up and she was filming stuff when she was walking in. That was one of the only women that I saw inside. So, but
I
wow.
just want to know again, like you said, A, was it worth it? Um, B, you know, is this going to be a wake up call for the people in her life, or will they actually retreat even further and deeper into the conspiracy cycle? And that's the sad part. That's the scary, scary part, that someone wouldn't say, you know what, you shouldn't have been there. This is ridiculous. Like, why would we um suspend all our rational thought and reasoning to follow behind one man, and then just think that, okay, that's okay? Or are they going to be like, oh no, see, this is the deep state? Like, that's the scary part.
Right.
That's the scary part. Man, I don't know what to say.
Yep.
So this is going to continue to unfold tonight, and it's probably going to go on into tomorrow sometime. We are most definitely we are living history. We always know that we are living history, but right now, for sure, we are living in a moment that we are going to be a part of history books that will be taught to children and generations to come. And I guess the question we just all have to ask ourselves: where do we want to be? Do we want to be on the right or the wrong side of history? I wonder about those who were of the ilk of Bull Connors or the George Wallaces, of that ilk. Um, they, you know, do they continue to want to be on the wrong side of history? Or do you choose for righteousness and justice, knowing that it is going to be a long fight and sometimes it's going to be painful? But you know that you are on the right side of history and justice and righteousness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just watching as a police officer. I guess he was happened to be a black man. I guess he was one of the Capitol police officers who was basically being chased up the stairs, and he was trying to call. And then this Senator Jeff Merkley saying that Electoral College ballots rescued from the Senate floor, if our capable floor staff hadn't grabbed them, they would have been burned by the mob. So anyway, like you said, we are a part of history. We are living history. This is just the unfortunate piece of it. And as we often say, lest we forget, we cannot allow these sort of moments to devolve into obscurity and be deemed a one-off or an anomaly. This is who we are until we're something else. And this is what we've been until we decide and determine that we're going to be better. So I hope we be better. I hope we decide to be better. I hope after, like he said, Van Jones commented, is this the start of something or the end of something? I pray that it's the end of something. Sadly, though, because 74 million people voted for this idiot, it feels like it could be the start of something. But I pray it's the end of something and we decide to just be better after this. I keep saying that. So that's all I can say.
Well, folks, that's going to end our special broadcast this evening. Let's all go out there and be better. It starts with each of us, each and every day. We can make choices to be better each and every day. I know for a fact there's some things that we all can agree on. We all do, should want health care. We all should want we all should want a coordinated, because we never had a coordinated plan to the coronavirus, but now we should want a coordinated plan for distribution of vaccines so that we can kind of resume moving about freely. We should all want the same freedom, but clearly some people only want freedom for some and not for others. And we should want to have, if you believe in the United States Constitution, you should want to have the ideal of striving for a more perfect union to be held. And what we saw today was nothing near perfection. And so with that, we thank you for tuning in to our special broadcast. We ask that you like, follow, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be back for our regularly scheduled program on Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.